Welcome to the NCC Training Curriculum module on border and coastal areas. This video provides a comprehensive analysis of the history, topography, demography, and security setup of these vital regions. We begin with Chapter 1, focusing on the history, topography, and demography of India's border areas. A nation's identity is shaped by its geographical boundaries. India shares extensive land and maritime borders, a result of historical evolution and geographical diversity. India's land border is 15,106.7 kilometers, and its coastline is 7,516.6 kilometers. India shares international land borders with multiple neighbors. Bangladesh has the longest border, while Afghanistan has the shortest, currently in the Ladakh POK region. You can see the length and bordering states for each country in this table. India's coastline spans 7,516.6 kilometers, the 15th longest globally. India shares maritime boundaries with 7 countries: Bangladesh, Indonesia, Myanmar, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Maldives, and Pakistan. Strategic control over sea lanes of communication, or SLOC, is vital for national trade and security. The legal maritime framework is governed by UNCLOS definitions. The territorial zone extends 12 nautical miles, granting full sovereign control. The Exclusive Economic Zone, or EEZ, extends 200 nautical miles, giving sovereign rights for exploring, exploiting, and managing resources. Aerial borders, or airspace, are imaginary lines above a country's land and maritime borders. An air violation occurs when hostile or military aircraft use this airspace without explicit permission. India's current borders are a product of millennia of dynastic rule, cultural expansion, and colonial division. Understanding the, quote, Greater India perspective is crucial for national security. Key historical periods span from the Mauryan Empire to the modern partition. The Mauryan Empire, starting in 322 BCE, unified much of the subcontinent, with edicts showing Ashokan influence across modern Afghanistan and Bangladesh. Later, the Kushan Empire, starting in the 1st century CE, fostered trade along the Silk Road, linking India globally. The Chola Empire, active around the 9th century, was renowned for its maritime prowess. Rulers like Rajaraja and Rajendra Chola I established India's first formidable navy, extending influence over Sri Lanka, Java, Sumatra, and Malaya through naval expeditions. The medieval era marked significant transitions. The Arab conquest of Sind in 712 CE created the first Islamic foothold. The Delhi Sultanate, established in 1206 CE, centralized Muslim rule in northern India. However, groups like the Pratiharas and Chalukyas showed resilience, limiting Arab control to Sind. The Mughal Empire reached its zenith, spanning over 4 million square kilometers under Aurangzeb. Its founding by Babur in 1526, using gunpowder artillery, and its subsequent unified administrative and cultural advancements left a lasting impact. Following the Mughals, regional powers resurged. The Maratha Empire dominated the western coast and challenged European naval powers in the 18th century. Simultaneously, the Sikh Empire under Maharaja Ranjit Singh extended control from Gilgit to the Sutlej River. The colonial policy of divide and rule culminated in the 1947 partition, which redrew India's borders on religious lines. The Radcliffe Line demarcated the boundaries of India and Pakistan, leading to ongoing territorial disputes. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel played a pivotal role in the integration of 565 princely states after independence. Key states like Hyderabad and Junagadh were integrated through police action, while Jammu and Kashmir acceded on October 26, 1947. The final territorial consolidation occurred between 1961 and 1975. Goa, Daman, and Diu were integrated in 1961 after the Portuguese withdrawal. Pondicherry and French enclaves followed in 1970 via referendums, and Sikkim joined the Union of India in 1975, becoming the last state to merge. The northern topography, particularly in Jammu and Kashmir, features 3 main belts. The Kandi Belt and Shivalik comprise the fertile plains and hills. The Kashmir Valley is enclosed by the Pir Panjal and Himalayas, and the Tibetan Tract includes high-altitude Ladakh and Kargil. The northeastern gateway is a predominantly hilly terrain, a strategic gateway to Southeast Asia. Key features include the Brahmaputra and Barak river systems, extremely high annual rainfall, high seismic activity, and frequent floods. Sovereignty at extremes is demonstrated by the Siachen Glacier, located in the eastern Karakoram Range. It is the world's highest battlefield, requiring specialized logistics and equipment. Extreme altitudes pose immense challenges for construction, transport, and surveillance. India's frontier presents varied terrain. Desert areas like Rajasthan restrict movement due to loose sand and poor roads. Riverine areas in Punjab and Bengal, with numerous crossings, make patrolling difficult. Jungle terrain in the northeast denies aerial surveillance and hampers rapid force movement. Population distribution is highly uneven. Coastal areas are densely populated, benefiting from livelihood infrastructure and trade, while high-altitude borders remain sparse and remote. The highest density is in Mumbai suburban, while the lowest is in Leh. Literacy metrics show significant progress. Female literacy is growing faster than male literacy, a positive trend toward bridging gender disparity. The graph illustrates the growth in literacy rates over the years. Economic livelihoods differ significantly. Coastal areas offer opportunities in navigation, fisheries, port-based trade, tourism, and services. In contrast, border areas face constraints like extreme climate limitations, infrastructure deficiency, and are often agriculture-dominated. Sociocultural diversity plays a critical security role. Border populations are the first line of defense, and their integration is essential to counter subversion. Ethnic groups often span borders, complicating loyalty. Village Defense Committees, or VDC, are critical for local security, addressing communalism and insurgency. To summarize Chapter 1, India's borders evolved from ancient empires to modern partition. The topography varies vastly, from the Siachen Glacier to deserts and jungles. Demographic disparity exists between urbanized coastal regions and remote borders. Strategic integration of border populations is vital for national security. Chapter 2 will now focus on the security setup in India's border and coastal areas, examining the structures and technologies used to manage these crucial frontiers. India's borders are classified as international border, which is mutually accepted and demarcated, the line of control, a military line between India and Pakistan, and the line of actual control, the broad demarcation with China. The actual ground position line is in the Siachen Glacier area. India's management strategy operates on the principle of one border, one force. This table illustrates the dedicated forces responsible for each border, such as the Border Security Force for Pakistan and Bangladesh, and the Indo-Tibetan Border Police for China. Multi-agency surveillance relies on physical infrastructure like border outposts, company operating bases, and integrated checkposts. These facilities ensure trade regulation and maintain security across the border region. Border fencing utilizes the anti-infiltration obstacle system, an electrified fence often 8 to 12 feet high. This system is integrated with thermal imaging cameras, laser fencing, ground sensors, and drones. Future plans include transitioning to smart fencing to withstand extreme weather. Integrated checkposts, or ICPs, house all regulatory agencies like immigration, customs, and security. Their purpose is to facilitate efficient cross-border trade and civilian movement. Key locations include Attari, Raxaul, Agartala, and Mora. The Indian Army's primary roles include the defense of the line of control and line of actual control, counter-terrorism operations to neutralize infiltrators, and humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, or HADR, acting as first responders during natural disasters. Following the 2009 Mumbai attacks, India restructured its maritime security into a multi-tiered organization led by the Indian Navy and Coast Guard. Key stakeholders include the Indian Navy, Coast Guard, State Marine Police, Customs, port authorities, and local fishing communities. India employs tiered surveillance zones at sea. Tier 1, from 0 to 12 nautical miles, is patrolled by the Coastal Marine Police and Customs. Tier 2, from 12 to 200 nautical miles, is covered by the Indian Coast Guard, patrolling the exclusive economic zone. Tier 3, beyond 200 nautical miles, is managed by the Indian Navy for deep-sea dominance. Aerial security manages air traffic and prevents unauthorized aircraft from compromising security. The Integrated Air Command and Control System, or IACCS, network uses radars to track all flying objects across 6 air defense identification zones. Key agencies include the IAF, AAI, DGCA, and NSG. We now move to Chapter 3, focusing on security challenges and the role of NCC cadets in border and coastal area management. Key flashpoints include the line of actual control with China, marked by long-standing disputes and clashes in areas like Aksai Chin and Galwan Valley. The line of control with Pakistan is volatile, characterized by infiltration and cross-border firing, disrupting regional peace. The proxy war in Jammu and Kashmir involves state and non-state actors, sponsoring terrorism, targeting security forces and infrastructure. Groups like LET, GM, and Hizbul Mujahideen orchestrate attacks. Responses include intensified counterinsurgency operations, diplomatic isolation, and social development. In the northeast, ethnic diversity and perceived neglect fuel insurgencies like nitrogen monothiocyanate and ULFA. Challenges include the porous India-Myanmar border and rugged terrain. Solutions involve operations like All Clear, peace accords, and the Act East policy focus. Subconventional sea threats include terrorism, such as the 26/11 Mumbai attacks, piracy in the high seas, and smuggling of contraband, arms, and drugs through porous coastlines. The Border Roads Organization, or BRO, formed in 1960, is responsible for building roads, tunnels, and airfields in harsh border terrains. A notable project is the Shingkunla Tunnel, the world's highest at 15,800 feet, which bypasses China's Mila Tunnel. Border development schemes aim for social upliftment. The Vibrant Villages program focuses on the holistic development of villages near northern borders. The Border Area Development Program, or BADP, provides socio-economic infrastructure for remote border communities. The Sagarmala Pariyojana is a maritime vision focused on modernizing over 400 port projects, establishing port-linked economic clusters for industrialization, and enhancing security through systems like NAIS and VTMS. NCC cadets act as a vital force multiplier, serving as the eyes and ears of security agencies. Their roles include reporting suspicious individuals and movements of anti-national elements, as well as serving as interpreters and guides for border forces. In disaster response and HADR, NCC cadets are trained in first aid and teamwork. They assist with evacuations and the distribution of essential supplies during crises, like floods and landslides, demonstrating a spirit of service alongside state agencies.